Gala, you've been in Belgium quite a lot, the last years.
Well, last year and this year, yes, mainly. I did the Ethias Arena 2 times, and then I did the best concert I've ever had at the Louvain-la-Neuve. I actually want to thank those kids. They were amazing. First of all, I was very happy because usually record labels or party organizers or concert organizers, they want me to sing my hits. Let a Boy Cry, Coming to My Life, Free from Desire, the usual hits. And I love to do it. They're my songs. I'm very proud that I wrote them. They're my melodies, my lyrics. It's not usually in this music, dance music. People don't write their own music, you know. Britney Spears doesn't write it. So for me, it's very important. So every time I sing my songs, I'm happy. But I'm also making music every day. I mean, live in Brooklyn, in New York. I make music with the best musician. I just jam with the drummer of Brandon Flowers from The Killers. I mean, I'm making music, and I never get to share it with my audience because the people in between, they never want me to perform new music. Instead, at Louvain-la-Neuve, the students invited me, and they had me have a 1 hour and a half concert for them with the whole new record, the latest record, the new record I'm working on it, which is going to be a little different, but the latest record, Tough Love. So I had a 1 hour concert of all my music. The reaction were amazing. There were 12,000 students. I was the only artist. I think there was an opening act, but I didn't get to see it. And I looked at the students. They loved the music, and I was like, wow, there is always the people in between you and the audience. Even today with the internet that we think, oh, we're in contact directly with people, it's not true because you need promotion, you need to be out there. And the record companies, they never get it. And they say, well, an artist from the 90s and da da da. And then you see these kids are 18 years old and they love the new music because, of course, they're in contact with what's happening. I live in Brooklyn, New York, in the middle of everything that's happening in the new rock bands, etc. So I bring that energy, and they get it. And so I would say that that concert was one of my favorites. It was fantastic.
So in fact, the 90s revival, it's good for you, but also it limits you because you always have to do these hits.
Absolutely. For me, it's painful because I'm a real musician. Sometimes you have teams of people who write the music, some people who record it, and other people who perform it. It's incredible. Mainly in the 90s, that what happened. You would have an image, a beautiful tall girl, then you would have someone who wrote the song and even nowadays you have, just a Black Eyed Peas record. If you look at one song, there are 25 people on it, like arrangers, writers. It's incredible the list of people that it's on it. Like we say David Guetta, but if you go and read, there's 25 people on it. So, for me, at the time I was writing all of my music by myself, and I was very proud to share this, and I'm still proud, but it is, as you say, we say in English, pigeonholing. Like you put someone in a box and then you're not open to hear the new music. It makes no sense. You have 8,000 people in front of you or 12,000 people. You have an entire arena and you don't have a chance to perform new music, which is, people think the audience doesn't want to hear it. It's absolutely not true. The audience enjoys the music that they remember, but they love to hear what their new artist is playing. I think it's very much a concept. I saw it. I actually saw it at Louvain-la-Neuve. The kids knew the other songs because they heard them maybe on the website, or they just enjoy a band playing live. And that's another problem. I always want to bring my live band. Because I play with a live band, a mix with tracks, like many artists do now, like Robin or Madonna, whatever, everybody. They mix tracks with live band, and every time is such a struggle to bring the band from New York, and so I bring a band from Paris, and but most of the shows they were just dancers. So it's a struggle for a real artist to do this without risking to be put in a box.
And to be put in the box of the live on tape artist.
Right, which I am absolutely not. I've done, I mean, I remember being on Top of the Pops and having artists that were considered like real artists doing lip sync, and I was doing it always live. So I wish people would understand that most of the times it's me fighting to bring my band, sing live, and I always sing live, by the way. If I have to play back, I don't even do the show. But bringing the band, for example, now I have a tour in France, March and April, with this dance machine tour. And I struggle, like I fight to say, I want the band. I'm ready to take less money. I'm ready to do more show. I'm ready to discuss anything, but I want to sing new tracks too, and with the band. And it's difficult. So I have to balance I have basically two lives. One in New York, and where I write music with amazing musician. I was telling him now I was with this amazing drummer, just jamming, and he is the drummer from Brandon Flower from the Killers, and I work with amazing musician, bass player, guitar players, and I don't have the support and the belief of record labels to launch new music because they believe, well, this is what you are, and this is what you should be for the rest of your life.
It's a marketing thing.
Yeah, it's marketing, and the audience doesn't understand. The driver who came to pick me up at the airport, he's such a nice guy, and he was like, oh my God, I'm such a fan. I know all your songs, and I was a DJ, and I played your music, and are you still making music? And he's so sad. He's like, yeah, I've been making music every single day of my life. Like, I live writing lyrics. I live writing poetry. I'm more of an artist than many bands that we think they are real artists and get their songs written by someone else. But it's a business also. It's called, fun enough, you call it the music business in English. It's called the music business because there is a side to it that the audience doesn't know. They don't know about it. They cannot understand.
You're also writing songs for other artists, also in classical music.
I wrote for Salvatore Licitra and Marcelo Alvarez for a record called Duetto, and I also wrote for Mario Frangulis, which is also a tenor. I wrote Italian lyrics for this song, a famous classic called Nights in White Satin by the Moody Blues, and I wrote a whole new lyric. That lyric was actually given to El Divo, which sold millions of records, and it's called Notte di Luce. I wrote those lyrics. I now did a collaboration. I worked with Bob Sinclair on a track. It's not released yet. You see, people don't know because it wasn't released, but we worked on a track. Had a lot of fun. Just met him in New York. He came to my house, and we worked on a track, and many other people.
In fact, you are multi-talented.
Around my 16, 17, 18, I went to, actually at 16, I went to Boston to art school, and then I did choreography, photography, theater, and then in the following years I applied for film school. So for 1 year I was in film school, but all I wanted to shoot was music videos. So everybody else was very intellectual, and I was like, I want to shoot music videos. So, and then I went to New York and I studied photography. So I actually graduated in photography.
And do you miss that sometimes?
If you go to my website, which I would love to share with artists, is galasound.com. And a lot of photography. In the main page, instead of only photos of me and concerts, there are photos that I took. So photos of a little kid, photos that actually inspired my songs. So for example, there is a photo of a little kid that I took in Italy on an island, Filicudi, it's a little island in Italy. And this little kid was so beautiful, and he sat down, and when he sat down, the chair behind him formed like two wings. So he looked like a little angel, and I took this photo, and the song Let a Boy Cry was also inspired by that image. So my image, also there is a photo of two women kissing in a bathroom at the famous club, The Tunnel. It was a big club, one of the best clubs I've ever been in my life. It was crazy. In New York, it doesn't exist anymore. And I took that photo because usually when I was 18, I was going around with my Nikon. Nobody had a camera, people. So I had my Nikon, and I would take photos of the night and the people from the night, people from the clubs. And those photos are also on the website. And so it's a mix of my photography and photos of me performing. It's cool.
Suddenly you were discovered by accident in some way.
I never believed that story. In my case, it's not that story. Maybe other girls are so pretty, and they, like Rihanna walks on the beach and gets discovered because she's in a nice bikini, and it's not my case. Men didn't. I don't think they did. They didn't like me that much in Italy. When I grew up in Italy, I was very much of a feminist, and I think I really wanted to get where I was. You know, I really made it happen. I actually heard a friend of mine said, well, these guys are making music and you should contact them. And I remember talking to them and they're like, well, we make music only with people from who speaks English and, you know, American singers. And I'm like, oh, okay. After 1 year, you know, I was living in New York. I was studying in New York and I met them in the summer in Italy and I took photographs of them for their records and I made their cover CD as a photographer. And I said, okay, I'm going to make the cover CD for your record, but I want you to let me show you that I can sing and that I can write. And the first song that I came up with was a big hit. It was the first melody I put down.
And then, of course, you got a lot of success with Freed from Desire in 96, 97, Coming to My Life, Let a Boy Cry, also here in Belgium, #1 hits. How was that period?
It was exciting because I felt I was riding a wave and I believed very much that the meaning of my lyrics were understood, that the energy was understood, that people understood that I was trying to say something. Freed from Desire is a Buddhist concept. Let a Boy Cry is a song about switching sex roles and not being a man or a woman, but just being a person, etc., etc. And suddenly it's about following your dreams and I had this feeling. I was like, wow, I'm sending a message and people are getting it, and I'm making people dance, but at the same time they're dancing and they're thinking, they're like just happy, but they're making them think. You know, so I loved that, but it was very difficult with my record company because it was a small record company in Italy, very small record company in Italy, called Do It Yourself. So do it by yourself. I shot all my videos by myself. I had no budgets to travel. I traveled by myself with my little bag and did huge shows completely by myself with no management, no booking agent, nothing. I was not paid right. They actually forged signatures and it was crazy. So it was a very difficult period. I was very much alone. I was always alone, on a plane alone, on a hotel room alone, and fighting my battle by myself and no support. Besides in France, in Belgium also they treat me very nicely, and in France Scorpio Music was amazing. They supported me very well, and that's why I enjoyed working there, and that's why I had a bigger success there, because there was a real, you know, kindness and belief in me. But in the other countries, it was very disorganized. Instead of coming out, let's say, like big artists come out now on the same record label, Universal or Warner, and they're, boom, pushed, and there is a whole support behind them. I had no money support, and different small record labels in each country, completely disorganized. One single will come out in 95 in one country, the same single will come out in 96 in another, and the album came out as a collection of singles. It wasn't, people were not ready for this such a huge success. This small record company could not believe that I changed their lives, you know. So it was good.
You mentioned it already. In 2009, you have made Tough Love, and now you want to go in another direction in some way.
You know, I love living in New York is like the Big Apple. So you have influences, you have hip hop, you have world music, you have rock, jazz. All the people around me are such amazing musicians, and I'm inspired by all these trends. And but I am there's always inside me. There's always the desire to make people move and dance. Electronic music is certainly in my ears, because in Brooklyn there is a lot of rock and electronic. So these two things are in me. Like Depeche Mode is a great example, because it's a band that you listen to the lyrics, you listen to the message, you perceive them almost as a rock band, but they're actually electronic new wave, and I feel close to that spirit. And as Tough Love was experimenting with everything that New York offered me, the record I'm working on now is, I always make this comparison. There are 3 steps always in everything, and I see the first was like the energy of beginning and going, and everyone approved it. The second record is the fight, you know, the struggle, and the artists finding themselves and searching. And the third record is you put together both, and that's what I'm trying to do. It was the same thing a bit with my songs, Free From Desire, Let a Boy Cry, and Coming to My Life. The 3 singles, I wanted them to be so different. I wrote Free From Desire when I was living in New York, So all my album I wrote in New York, Free From Desire, Let a Boy Cry, they're all songs I wrote in New York. I was living there since I am, well, 16, I moved to Boston. So actually that old record, the Coming to My Life record, is New York energy too. Yeah.
Do you still feel Italian?
Yeah, of course. When I'm in America, I feel Italian. When I'm in Italy, I feel American. I walk into a store in Italy and I don't even speak, don't even say a word. And people are like, excuse me. And I'm like, I live on this street. I live here. My house is down the street. I know you. I remember your face. And you talk to me in English. So I guess it's really more than just a language. It's like a completely energy that changes after so many years. And also an American citizen and an Italian citizen, and I feel both.
Okay, thank you very much, Gala. I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you. Thank you.